Winter marches on, seemingly without a lot of effect, at least into the Great Plains, much of the northern plains anyway, not seeing a lot of hard weather. We do have a little bit of a colder pattern settling in now, but no big storms and nothing really Arctic moving into the Great Plains or the upper Midwest. It has been quite a bit colder than average the last week or so over the eastern United States, and some of that will continue this week with this rather deep jet stream dip there. Relatively cold temperatures this weekend with the dark blue, and by the demarcation of cold, I'm referring to weather that is mostly below freezing, not necessarily the frigid stuff, which is where it's mostly below zero. So this would be more standard December fare across much of the Dakotas and around the Great Lakes. Pretty chilly weather, though, for the season down into the deep south. The Rocky Mountains are characteristically cold. We're seeing a little bit of cool down along the west coast, but nothing really all that dramatic shaping up. And we're starting to see the frigid weather, the sub-zero stuff, moving to central Canada. So it's sort of, you might say, there for the taking. But right now, the pattern remains primarily in a west to east, granted a bit ambulatory, but enough west to east to it that we're not tapping into that really cold air and bringing it southward. If you want warmth, go to South Florida, South Texas, Southern California. Not a lot of heat left in this pattern. As we move forward into the week that ends with Christmas, it's still going to be relatively cold, though there may be a bit of a mild surge some point that week. I do expect by the holiday, it's fairly likely that the weather will be as it has been. In other words, for the Dakotas down through Iowa and across the Great Lakes, a lot of weather in the 20s and low 30s, maybe a stray day up to 35, 36. Some of that cold weather, though, will be getting pretty far south along the eastern seaboard for the week of Christmas. It's not going to be that cold anywhere. The really frigid stuff will stay up in the higher latitudes, but it'll be cold enough for snow in the east, and there will likely be some snow. This week, one storm system moving along the Atlantic seaboard will likely generate some snow, at least in the interior sections of the Northeast, probably some rain along the coast. With those eastern storms, the rain-snow line is often very much a challenge, so that's something that's fairly iffy. In the Pacific Northwest, the rain-snow lines are usually much easier. It's going to be coastal rain and interior snows out there this week. But as we move ahead into the week that includes Christmas, you'll notice the pattern not changing much. If we're going to see a white Christmas for the Dakotas, Iowa, most of the western Great Lakes, it's going to happen with probably just a light snow system. I don't see any big snows. There will be another fairly likely storm system in parts of the Northeast. The Southeast will continue to be rainy. Pacific Northwest down through Northern California will be getting ample moisture over the next couple of weeks, with snows filling into the northern Rockies, but in the middle of the country, not a particularly active pattern.